episode one. Uh, I'm sorry, it's not episode one. It's the season one, episode 11 of The Americans. Jesus. Uh, yeah, should be asleep now, but decided to do this last video. No big deal. I will go to sleep afterwards though. Something interesting has happened, but not. It's been an ongoing thing for shoot. It's been an ongoing thing for a couple of episodes now. There's so many episodes in this season. It's coming down. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's like two more episodes in this season, right? They're doing a fantastic. I have to admit, they're doing a fantastic job of ramping up the tension and keeping the viewer on their toes by keeping the characters constantly pivoting inside the show. Great, fantastic job on that. I guess I'm being a little bit long winded about this, but their new handler for Philip and Elizabeth, their new handler, Elizabeth hasn't liked her from day one, right? Philip has always been the guy who's I can't call him a pushover because of what he's doing and what he has done, but in this instance, I guess in this group of people, he is the pushover in this. At least that's what I'm getting. Maybe you know what? Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I got this one all the way wrong. I don't know. Feels like, but I do know this. It seems like Elizabeth is the stronger of the two. I can admit that. But Elizabeth and this handler don't get along at all, right? And I feel like there's a showdown coming between them two, which is going to be pretty rewarding to watch if it does happen. But any rate, what was I? Yeah, at any rate, a high-ranking official in the scheme of things for the Soviets is killed because there's still a lot of retaliation killings going on, all based off something else that takes place. It's starting to get a little messy here, but all these killings stem from the first killing or the accidental killing of an individual who's love strucken by one of Philip's. I don't know how to describe her. No, there's a term for her, but I can't remember it. He's playing her basically. He's using her for information to yeah, using her for information. I can leave it at that, right? That makes sense. He's using her for information. Of course, she thinks there's more to the relationship, which I find out, which is really brought home in this episode. But she works at the FBI with the neighbor of Elizabeth and Philip, and the neighbor's partner used to date her, and Philip is using her for information. Of course, there's some sex involved there. They're smashing, right? And the guy's still into her. He winds up, of course, doing his FBI thing, spying on her, figuring out who this guy is. He doesn't know at the time that he's a KGB agent. Tries to take him and intimidate him and beat him up and basically get him to leave her alone. But they wind up struggling. He winds up stabbing the guy, and then that's in the last episode, I think, or the episode before that, if I'm not mistaken. One of those two. It happened in the previous episodes. Now, there's been a whole bunch of. He winds up dying, and there's been a whole bunch of people being murdered in retaliation for that, right? Where was I going with that? There's been a whole bunch of people murdered. Retaliation kills. Okay. The high ranking official is part of that. And Elizabeth has something that's more important than a sexual relationship, which is something I think a lot of individuals find out later on in life. Maybe they never do achieve that type of enlightenment. Being able to have a conversation and talk to somebody on a, like, lack of a better term, personal level without involving sexual organs or favors or lust is an amazing thing that I think is only, it's one of the world's wonders. I feel like, hey, maybe I think I jumped the deep end right there, but that's why I feel about it. She's found that within this high-ranking official, and he winds up being killed. Right? Come to find out, him and the handler used to smash back in the day. Now that automatically sends Elizabeth through the roof. Like, no way in hell, because I don't like you at fucking all. And I damn near love that guy, and it caused her to do some stupid stuff. Um, Basically, just go out and try to find the closest thing uh, inside the FBI or CIA or whatever, inside those organizations, the closest person to uh, the closest person to the closest person she can get her hands on that may have something to do with okaying or the operation uh, involving the murder of this guy. Of course, she lets him go, but Philip's there pretty much holding her down the whole time, which is, I like that. Now, I think if I haven't confused you yet, anybody, confused myself pretty much, get back to Philip. Philip, the woman that Philip is getting information from, she, hey, I need you to give him an urgent message to come to his house. Her parents are waiting there. So, I mean, the plot thickens so much in this situation, right? Now, you've got this guy. He's an agent. He's uh, created a perfect man for her to feel confident and safe around, to give information, which works perfect for him. But she's under the impression that this could be a real relationship. Okay? You got that going on. I'm waiting to see how he weasels his way out of this situation, because she's falling head over heels for him. I mean, there's nobody else. You've made the perfect person for her. He made a mistake by not giving himself any flaws. I can't see that character being that airheaded, or I don't even know how to describe it. I can't see the character being that gullible. I mean, I think he just created a perfect person for her, and now she wants to get married and have babies. You know what I mean? So he's got himself in a situation there. Um, and then we take a look at. I'm gonna take a look at. I'm gonna talk about. I don't know. I even decided to start talking like that. We should take a look at it. Yeah, we should take a. Like I'm a gosh darn scientist or psychologist or something. No, the character Stan is going through a hell of a time with his wife. She's finally reached her breaking point, um, with him being so distant to her, and Stan's finding out new things about his son. They're like, wait, what? I mean, he's just not present. Oh, and I also may have overstepped, because I think I always take the side of the guy in these situations and try and like end up bashing the woman, but she may have a point here. I may have to change my opinion on this, because I mean, he's just not present, and they made that pretty clear with him not knowing what his son's into, what his son does, uh, and just not understanding what's going on with his wife. I mean, apparently he's not. Like I think I mentioned this in the last episode. I think he's just so invested in his work, he's basically skating by and leaving his kid and his significant other out in the wind. And of course, that's going to create a. I mean, he's doing it himself. He's creating all this distance, and eventually they're just going to leave, which is coming, and it's all. All this is coming together close to the end of the season, which should happen like that. Um, what else happens in this episode? It's more complex than I'm leading on. I mean, I'm scratching the surface here. I'm really scratching the surface with the depth that these characters are at this particular time in the season. I mean, if anything, I'm fully invested in this series at this point. I mean, every episode, I'm like, what's gonna happen next, and watching watching it in its entirety. Not to say I don't do that with other shows that I watch, but this one is definitely different in a very good way. Um, what else happens in this episode? I'm trying to think. So I talked about Stan and his situation with his wife and him being distant and me changing my mind on her being a bad guy. Uh, I don't think it's equal though. Now I don't think it's leaning more heavily towards him. Um, if you're not if you're not uh, in love or willing to put the necessary effort in to have a healthy and functioning relationship with somebody, then you need to make the decision to leave so that person can move on with their life. I think. Um, what else? Oh man, Jesus, I almost forgot. So Philip and Elizabeth, they're they're up and down. I mean, it's a literal. Well, I can't say literal, but it's like a roller coaster with them. You know what I mean? They're one minute they're rocking solid, and then something happens and they break apart, and the next minute she's trying to bring it back in, but he's moved on, and he tries to bring her back in, and it's like nah. It's like they're for them to be partners. They really can't read each other well. You say that much. Um, yeah, I mentioned the sneak attack by one of Philip's sources with her parents. Hey, I thought that was so funny to see that. Um, I'm going to end this video right here. That'll do for me. If you like me stumbling and bumbling my way through reviewing a TV show or movie, go check out some of my other videos. I have the complete series of Breaking Bad. I've done the miniseries Chernobyl. I've did some Mandalorian, which I didn't like. The Wire I'm currently doing, and of course The Americans, and I also have some movies. So go check those out and subscribe. Now I'm gonna make this a habit. I'm gonna show people how to do this. So you're gonna have to subscribe, right? It's one day you're gonna subscribe. It's easy, just like this. Take your finger and boop. That's it, and you subscribe. No big deal. You don't need no notifications and all that because these videos are gonna keep coming up. All you gotta do is go like this. Just boop boop. That's it. All right. Have fun subscribing and watch my other videos.